G'day immigrants, I'm here today to talk to you about Australia, especially when Australia became a nation. I personally believe Australia became a nation after World War One. Even though the document was signed to federate Australia in 1901, January the 1st, was Australia really a nation? The definition of a nation, according to the Oxford Dictionary, a large body of people united by a common decent history, culture, or language inhabiting a particular state or territory. In World War One, this was clearly demonstrated when the whole of Australia came together as one nation to fight and contribute to World War One. This is when Australia stepped up and acted like a nation for the first time. When the document was signed to federate Australia, all it showed was that this country is a nation on paper, but acted anything but a nation. On the 4th of August 1914, Britain declared war on Germany, not knowing the 4 years of war that lay before them. Australians quickly signed up to join the army, thinking that the war would be over by Christmas. On the 28th of July 1914, the war to end all wars began, with 38 million people contributing to the war and over 400,000 Australians. In just the first 24 hours, there were 5,533 deaths, and by the end of the year, there were just over 40,000 deaths. November 9th, 1914, the Royal Australian Navy contributed to the war when Her Majesty Australian ship, or the HMAS for short, destroyed a German raider in Sydney. Throughout 1916 to 1917, the losses on the Western Front were heavy and the gains were small. Soon after, Australian allies started to use artillery, tanks, aircrafts more effectively. This was demonstrated when Australia captured Hamel Spur on July the 4th, 1918. War was hell. Australians joined up to join this war, fight, and even die for this country. When a whole country comes together as one to fight in a war, they become a nation, not when a piece of paper gets signed to show that this place is supposedly a nation. John Hirst, an Australian historian, quotes, "Gallipoli freed Australia from the self-doubt about whether it had the mettle to be a proper nation." World War One shaped Australia's identity. Aboriginals were not seen equal to the white men until World War One, when the Indigenous Australians and Torres Strait Islanders began to experience a greater level of equality with the white Australian men. Almost 3,000 Aboriginals and Torres Strait Islanders served in World War One. This was a major step forward for Australia to acting like a nation, since now Australia is more accepting of other people because of World War One. However, signing a piece of paper does show that legally Australia is a nation, but that does not mean Australia acts like a nation. Thousands of Australians died. Thousands of Indigenous Australians died just for our country. If they never fought for our freedom in World War One, who knows what our nation would look like today.